Good morning, Alex Reedy, Hostetter Realty, Harold Bear, Hostetter Realty, and this is Coffee with Harold. Harold, you were raised in Lancaster, correct?
That's right.
Okay. Tell me about early life in Lancaster, early life on the farm, schooling. Take it away.
I was born in a town of Burdenham. Burdenham is east of Lancaster, about 8-9 miles. And family farm, the youngest of 6 children, and had a farm there right at Burdenham address. And grew up in that farm with my dad and my brothers. We worked hard. My dad had a small dairy and some steers and raised a few chickens and raised crops, raised tobacco and crops to go with the dairy. Worked hard. We didn't have a lot of modern equipment. We done a lot of things using our muscles. And then as far as school, I went to a one-room schoolhouse, Gibbons School. There's a road there at Burdenham called Gibbons Road, and there's this Amish schoolhouse there today still being used. And back when I was in first grade, probably half were we called English people and half Amish people. And of course, in my early years of school, that changed and went all Amish, and we went to the public school up at Upper Lakeham. But special years, I have tremendous clientele with friends with I went to school with there. There's a couple different Amish families that, of course, they're my age and we're still friends and been friends all our lives. It's been special.
Tell me about early life on the farm. You said no modern equipment. What did it feel like? What did you experience?
My experience in the farm, obviously animal waste, manure, was a lot of it was handled by hand, a shovel and a pitchfork, and us boys, we worked.
Yeah.
And we had 2 sisters, and Mom had a garden and a truck patch, and they were canning and freezing and preparing foods that lasted from one year into the next. My sisters, my mother worked hard doing that, and they were special times.
When you say truck patch, what do you mean truck patch?
A truck patch was a bigger garden where they had things like asparagus and potatoes and sweet potatoes. With a small garden, they had, smaller things.
Gotcha.
Lettuce, cabbage, and some sweet corn. But work hard, that was definitely a way. I mean,
Gotcha.
Us kids all were taught to work, and we did. We worked hard.
And did that pay off later in life?
Sure.
Learning work ethic.
The number one thing I think of, and I tried to do that with my children, is teach them good work ethics. Mm. And it's just teaching work and responsibility is just really a tremendous value. And a lot of Lancaster County is that way. That's another place that it's a great place to live because people have been taught to take care of themselves, so to speak. So
I think we almost work to a fault in Lancaster County.
At times it
seems to be a balance we're still trying to figure out.
It can be at times.
Yeah. No, that's good. Tell me about when you got married, maybe you bought a farm. Tell me about those years.
Okay, when we first married, I was farming in partnership with a brother, and we farmed together for 11 years, and then we each got our own place. We had our families, and my wife and I were fortunate enough to buy her home farm east of Gap. That's quite a while already, and that's where we raised our family. The farm's another family farm. My son, one of our sons owns it now. And his son, my grandson, is very interested in that farming, agriculture. So we hope we can keep that going too. But it's not mine anymore. It's the family's choice to do it. But that's where we raised our family. Three children, of course, all married now. 9 grandchildren, and it's just been a special place for my family and I.
What kind of animals did you raise?
We had a dairy farm. We were in the purebred cattle business. We had really nice purebred registered Holstein cattle. plus a poultry house. We raised broilers for, at first, Victor Weaver, then Tyson is Tyson today. So we were dairy farmers and had the land to grow our own crops.
What do you miss about farming?
Farming is a wonderful life. I loved it. If I was 22, I'd do it all over again. I love the work of working the land. I love the idea of having my children around me, helping with the farm and teaching them work and responsibility, and that was special. And farming today has changed dramatically. But again, if I was young, I'd still want to farm, because working the land and working with your cattle, it kind of becomes part of you. And it's just been a great experience for me and my children. They would tell you that today, that they appreciated that.
That's great. What do you not miss about farming?
Well,
What did you least like about farming?
I'm not sure.
Maybe there wasn't anything.
There was, of course, we had to rise early in the morning, 4:30, 4:45 every morning, and that used to get old. But now that I'm not farming, I wish I could sleep longer sometimes in the morning. But anyway, I don't know. There's not too much that I could answer that negative to, because I just really liked farming, and
That's
I
great.
love that farm. It became part of me and part of us. And my wife was so pleased at her home farm that we could keep it in the family and keep it going to another generation.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So, Harold, tell me about life and real estate for you. You've been licensed since '92.
That's correct.
A licensed realtor since '92.
Right.
You've probably seen a lot of changes in our industry.
Tremendous change.
Tell me about those.
My real estate career started when thinking about the sons taking over the farm. What am I going to do? Are we going to expand and keep getting bigger? We decided a different direction. And I was always enjoyed sales and had some close relatives of my wife, which is Hostetter Realty, encouraged me to think about that. Ended up doing it, and I've really been pleased. A lot of my clients, investment properties or a place to live, and people used to ask me, "Do you think I should do this? I'm ready, I think," and ask me questions. My response to that was always, if you can handle this and not add stress to your family, you're not add stress to your marriage, and it works out in pencil, do it. But if it's going to add stress and create turmoil around the house, you might want to put it on hold for a while.
We were at basically not every deal's going to work out.
Right.
In terms,
I was very careful never to push someone into something.
Mm-hmm.
I just really believe that if it's going to add stress to someone's life, their marriage, their family, I didn't want to push them into anything like that. And when it worked, then it was time to move forward. And that has really been a key to me. I mean, I have so many situations that in the end, people were happy. They were pleased how everything worked out.
No one sale is worth breaking a bond with somebody.
That's exactly
Yeah,
right. That's
right.
exactly right.
Right.
Yep.
What challenges did you face over the years? What adversity did you have in real estate?
Adversity in real estate, I don't know if adversity, but challenges.
Challenges.
When I started, we had a book with the listings in, and everything was delivered by hand. The computer age came in, which is great, but it was challenging for me, and I'm probably 3/4 of the way there, and I'm with a team now, and they help me with some of this newer challenge in real estate with the computer system. But it's definitely exposed us to much more listings all over, and certainly been a good thing. But it's been challenging for me. I'm kind of on the edge, 10 years younger, I'd have been able to handle it better, but I'm doing okay.
Good.
And
Good.
So, yeah.
Tell me about investment properties. What advice would you have for a new investor thinking of getting into real estate, looking, wanting to make a good decision, a responsible decision, but also wanting to grow, specifically in a time where rates are higher than they were a year or two ago. We're talking 6 to 7-ish now, and maybe even a little higher depending what it is. And maybe when they got started, it was 3 to 4 a year and a half ago. What would you say to them?
My main thing that I bring out is if this thing can work and not going to add stress to you or your family, your marriage, and the numbers work. When you're buying a place, you see maybe some work needs to be done. Have this figured out ahead of time, and if you see it can work, I'll say go for it.
Right.
Real estate as a whole in my entire life, seldom do I ever remember that this property sold for $300,000 and 1 year later it's worth $200,000. Maybe it went from $300,000 to only $310,000, but usually it's even more. So real estate has, over the years, has always been a good investment. So I'll tell that young investor that's starting out that if the numbers can work and you can make this work, have some money down, bank loan, everything works, go for it. So yeah, the investing in real estate over the years has always been a good thing.
Good. Harold, the interest rates today, I checked yesterday before we were working on videos yesterday as well. But I checked right before, and we're looking at like mid-6s, and that's with paying a point, depending where you go. And that would be for an owner-occupied for a strong borrower. Right. So maybe a less strong borrower or not as strong of a borrower would be a little higher. What would you say to them? And in terms of, I'm losing my train of thought. What would you say to them in terms of the history of interest rates and the loans you've had in the past?
Yeah, interest rates are certainly different today. Over my lifetime, I mean, in the late 70s, we had 15, 16, 17% interest rates. It just made a phenomenal impact on the thing of doing business. Today, yes, about a year ago, a little more, interest rate for a homeowner was 3.8, 4%. An investment property was probably an investor, it would have been 4.5, perhaps. And today that shifted upward tremendously. I mean, 7%, 7.25. Depends on the investment fellow, he may be talking close to 7.5, and that's a substantial difference on your payment and what you can buy compared to 4%.
Yeah.
I will tell people that 7% today is still, to me, is a good deal. Over the years of my business, 7% was 6.5 to 7% was always a good rate. Obviously,
compared to 15, it's
compared to 15,
great.
16, 17%. I mean, it's just amazing. So I will tell people, yes, you're probably going to have to buy a little less price house, but 7% is 6.5, 7% is not out of the world bad rate. I mean, it's very workable.
Yeah, it's good. Was there ever a time in real estate or farming that you ever had to make decisions or make a big purchase or advise somebody how to do something when looking ahead, and I'm relating it to right now, just everybody's kind of wondering which way it's going, which way the economy's going to turn. What comes to mind that a time like that, and how did you work through that, and what wisdom would you give?
There's definitely a time in 2009 things just really clunked to the bottom.
Yeah.
Prices went down, much inventory for sale, people struggling underwater with properties, needed to help people sell some places that you just felt bad for them, and it's just one of them things. You just had to work through it, do the best you can, and we did. Farming, when I was farming, we had a year that the milk company we sold milk to was in trouble. We lost 1 month's milk check because of they filed for a bankruptcy for a certain amount of time,
And to be clear, 1 month milk check was
well, at that
an
time,
entire month of getting up early and milking
and sending milk out the lane
right.
and not get paid for it. Trying time. We just buckled down and determined, and we came through it. But we definitely had some times that were definitely trying and somewhat stressful, but we stuck together and we came through and we were fine.
That's good stuff. Harold, what would be something that you would tell to somebody looking to move to Lancaster County or maybe move their business to Lancaster County about the people of Lancaster County?
Yeah. Lancaster County seems to be somewhat economy proof to a certain extent. We have so many German and Swiss descendants and more from other countries too that are just hard workers, good business people, the type of people that will fix it themselves, so to speak. Don't want to get political, but not look for some kind of a help somewhere, do it themselves. And Lancaster County is just full of these types of people that have their own businesses, work hard, and it just creates a lot of jobs and a great atmosphere and a great place to live. And of course that too increases value of real estate in a downtime that they will not lose as much because of the tremendous job force here and small business here that has just been really tremendous for Lancaster County. Lancaster County is known for entrepreneur, small businesses just really doing well and doing it themselves, not depending on someone to help them out, bail them out or whatever.
All right. Over the years, what encouraged you just in life in general or business or?
When I was farming, we had a nice farm. We really were particular in keeping it nice. We had really good purebred cattle, worked hard, and I had older friends would stop in and visit and compliment and encourage me to stay active, keep going, you're doing a great job, you're going to be fine. And in other words, a word of encouragement. And that meant a lot to me. And as I'm older now, and I see young people like Alex right here, I'm just thrilled to see good young people coming along in the business, doing well. And I want to encourage you to keep your head up and keep going.
Thank you.
There'll be times that go up, sometimes go down, but I just want to encourage you that it's a great business. We live in a great community, great people, and I just want to be an encouragement to you
Thank you.
to keep going.
Appreciate
doing
it.
a good job.
Appreciate it.